Hey guys, welcome to Your Adventure Compass. I got some things I want to talk about today. And if you're new to this channel, just want to let you know this is not the normal video. So let's get right into it. You know, I started this channel 5 years ago, believe it or not, and it was the worst year I could possibly start a channel about traveling and going to events and cool places. It was 2020. All right, guys, first of all, a huge thank you to all of you for subscribing to this channel. We finally made it to 5,000 subscribers. I remember back when I didn't think I'd hit 1,000. It seemed like it took forever. It was about 1.5 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. It finally happened, and I was so excited, and it just seemed to progress really slowly. And now here we are at 5,000, and believe it or not, that was just 2 weeks ago, and we're, I think, at 5,600 or 5,700 right now, something like that. It's growing fast, and I really appreciate that. I hope you guys enjoy the content I'm putting out. If you have suggestions, you know, leave me a comment in the notes. You know, let me know. Be happy to take those into consideration. So the next thing I want to talk about is finally hitting 5,000. I thought it was about time that we had some merch. So guys, I've got a brand new merch store, and we've got several different designs to choose from. Some of them are available in both black and white, and then there is one full color design. I have all kinds of things available, like the insulated coffee cups or tumblers, whatever you want to call them, shirts, hats, stickers, posters, you name it, whatever type of thing that you might want. I thought if it looked good on the item, there's tote bags and things like that. If the logo or whatever the artwork is looked good on there, I made it available to purchase, and that's all available in my brand new merch store. You'll see a link to that right here below, and there's also a link in the show description. So if you guys are interested in helping out the channel, please go buy a shirt or a mug or whatever you want, even just a sticker, whatever. Anything helps. I don't make a lot of money on that stuff, but anything helps out the channel, and it helps me create better content for you guys. All right, guys, now I want to talk a little bit about some failures. Probably one of the biggest failures was starting this channel, and let me explain. When I started this channel, it was in the year 2020. It was the worst possible year to start a channel that's about going to places, events, and travel, and things like that. Yet somehow I pulled it off. And that might be why it took so long to get to 1,000 subscribers right off the bat, because you know, between 2020 and 2021, a lot of stuff was closed, and the experience wasn't quite what it should be. I made the best of it. You'll notice in some of my first videos, you know, we're wearing the masks. We went to Dollywood, you know, the mask requirements and things like that. But, you know, it happened, and it was an interesting time, wasn't it? Another thing I want to talk about is videos in general. You know, they don't always go as planned. There's been several times where I'll go out to do a video, and maybe something as simple as, you know, it says they're open and I get there and they're not, or I go out to do something specific at a specific location, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, that particular thing is not open, but the rest of the stuff is. So it's just been an odd combination of failures, but here are 3 of the biggest ones.
3.
Back in 2022, I thought it would be a great idea to head down to Pinckney, Michigan and check out their St. Patrick's Day parade. As in years past, I always got stuck with work obligations on the day the parade took place. However, the weather had different plans in store for us. On the way down, the weather wasn't too bad, just a light sprinkle. But when we got out of the car, it started pouring so much that we needed to grab our umbrellas. And to make matters worse, it seemed like this parade was really short. The combination of the fire department, the police, and the EMS seemed to be longer than the rest of the parade. And adding to our misery that day, there was supposed to be a bunch of Irish dancers dancing in the gazebo at the park across the street right after the parade, but I think they canceled because of the weather.
Well, apparently I stand corrected. I swore that I heard the DJ say that the Irish dancing would be taking place in the gazebo after the event, after the parade, and it is not. So that is pretty much it. I think the rain has kind of chased everyone away, and it is now 12:17 and everybody is leaving and it's over. So pretty short event, a lot shorter than I had expected, and unfortunately that's going to be it for this one, guys.
2,
In the past, we've enjoyed going to Shawana, Indiana for their giant flea market, one of the best in the entire Midwest. And when I saw Shawana on the road coming to Frankenmuth, Michigan, I thought, how perfect, maybe we can go and check it out and find some good deals. Well, I hate to be the one to tell you, but it is definitely not the same thing. We noticed that many of the vendors were actually local businesses trying to push their services on people who were there to buy various goods. Water treatment systems, overpriced cutlery, gutter guard systems, and even bathtub restoration services. I definitely felt like I was duped by paying to come in here and get bombarded by different services. And to top it off, a lot of the vendors were the same type of vendor, selling small crafts like you'd see at a craft fair, or jewelry. And over here, some more jewelry. Lots of jewelry here. There were only a few vendors that I had seen in Shawana in the past. But there was one bright side. One of those vendors was a favorite of mine. And I got my next item. This is some licorice from the licorice guy. Now, I bought some of this when we were in Shawana, and I have to tell you, it's the best licorice I have ever had. It will blow Twizzlers out of the water. It is amazingly good.
1,
Today we're in Birmingham, Michigan, and we're going to check out the Mad Hatter Beastro, and we're going to check out some of the decor inside. I've heard it's a very unique place, and I know a lot of the locals in this area are already familiar with this.
All right, let me back up real quick. We should have known right off the start that this was going to be an interesting experience. We tried to book a reservation as they suggested on their website. However, getting hold of them was nearly impossible. After calling at least a dozen times and sending numerous emails, maybe 6 or so, finally, my wife got through to them at one point in time and made the reservation. Only one problem. We showed up at the exact same time we made the reservation, and they told us that they were no longer serving food for the day, but we could still get some of the things that came with the tea party. The Mad Hatter was themed very well. You could see different things like the Mad Hatter's hat, rabbit ears, lots of little details that were sort of Easter eggs for the Alice in Wonderland theme. I wanted to see the downstairs area because I heard that was also decorated well. But as soon as I hit the staircase, this horrible smell hit me, and it got worse as I went downstairs. While the downstairs area was themed well with cards and chess pieces, the sewer smell was making me nauseous, and I could not stay down there. Our food and tea service arrived, and while these platters look really good, they were nothing spectacular. In fact, most of them were like odd combinations that you could probably make at home with the things that were left over in your cupboard and your refrigerator. When they brought the tea selection out to us, we were not impressed. It was a tray of various boxes of teas. Many of these were store brands such as Meyer and Great Value from Walmart. And I almost forgot to mention that my daughter got a separate tier tray made for children, which featured different fruits, candies, and Teddy Grahams. She told me that the Teddy Grahams tasted funny, and I took one to try it. It was rancid. It was right about then that I looked up and noticed both the chandelier and the back of the seat where my daughter was sitting. No, you're not seeing things. That's dust and cobwebs. This place is filthy. So you might be asking, how much would something like this cost? Well, I can tell you, tea service for 4 people was well over $100. We all left feeling quite disappointed in the entire experience. And the worst part is, I could not honestly recommend this place to anybody, so I never put this video out. The only reason I'm talking about it now is because they went out of business. Now, while there have been plenty of failures along the way as far as videos go, we've also had a few videos that turned out far better than I ever expected just because of the circumstances or being in the right place at the right time. Let's talk about those. There are quite a few to list, but I picked 3 of the more recent ones that I could think of. First of all is Stagecoach Stop in Onstead, Michigan, or Irish Hills if you prefer. I saw an event for a Hearstfest advertised at Stagecoach Stop and thought, why not check it out? So we got there early before it got dark out, and when we arrived, we started talking to some of the people that work there, not knowing that we were talking with one of the owners. I mentioned that I had a YouTube channel, and they were more than happy to tell us about their upcoming Halloween event and give us a full daylight guided tour through the back, and we got to see everything prior to the opening of haunt season. They invited us to come back and film again when it was dark out, and we did. We got to learn a little bit about Stagecoach Stop and to hear some stories from the past. At the end of the night, they invited us to take a walk through the haunted train car, and that was amazing. In another instance of being at the right place at the right time, we were on the way back from Traverse City, and one of our last stops on our road trip was Mini Mac Mini Storage, and we wanted to see the Mini Mac Bridge that we had heard about. I parked the car and got out and began to walk towards the bridge when somebody came out of a building. It was an older gentleman who approached me, and I told him that I was interested in seeing the Mini Mac Bridge. He then informed me that his name was Chris, and he was the one who built the bridge. It was pure coincidence that he was there at that time because he actually lives in Florida. He also called over the new owner of that property, whose name is Corey, and Corey told me all about the bridge and how he came to own this property. Had I not run into Chris or Corey, it would have been just a simple, here's the bridge, I don't know much about it, it looks really neat, but that's all I can tell you. Instead, I got the full behind-the-scenes story on why it was built, how it was built, and how Chris ended up selling the property to Corey and why. They were both very nice and very informative, and I'm really glad I got the chance to meet them both. And of course, how could I not mention the Smile More Laundry and Tan? I mean, that was probably one of the most right place, right time situations I've ever had in any of my videos. It was a pretty good bet that Roman wasn't going to be at the laundromat at that time because he usually goes during the day, not at night, especially on a weekday. I went there with the sole intention of maybe buying some merch, getting a little B-roll for my video, and just seeing what it was like to be there. We spent about 30 minutes looking at merch, playing some of the claw games, and we were just about getting ready to go when Becky came over and told us that he's actually coming in at nighttime, which never happens. About 10 minutes later, Roman pulled up in the Suzuki truck, packed with ice in the brand new launch of Watermelon Lime Kinetic. That was just perfect timing. We got to experience a little bit of that nightlife at the laundromat. And for me, one of the best things was getting some advice from Roman for YouTube. And one other amazing thing happened from that video. A lot of you that are fans of Roman subscribe to my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
Now, guys, there's one last thing I wanted to talk about, and not that I feel I have to, but I thought it would be fun to share this with you guys and let you know what I've got planned for this summer. This year, our big trip, we're headed to Pennsylvania, East Pennsylvania to be exact. And if you know anything about Pennsylvania, there's some good history there in Pennsylvania. We're going to be going to Philadelphia. We're going to check out the Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, lots of cool stuff like that. We're also going to be hitting up some great amusement parks. We're going to hit Knoebels, and we're going to Hershey Park as well. So we have a very fun summer packed full of adventure, and I can't wait to share those adventures with you guys. Don't forget, we've got a brand new merch store. If you want to help support the channel, please buy something. If not, subscribe. That really helps out as well. Give the video a big thumbs up. Click on the compass so you can get subscribed and see more great content like this. And remember, adventure is just a short drive away.